Welcome to the Geeks Assembled podcast. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Hi there, everyone. This is Geeks Assembled Audio Heads, and today we're discussing the lives of Captain Jack. And check out that outfit that he's wearing. Look at that kid. He's all ready to have an encounter with the Sixth Doctor, Colin Baker. And actually, he does some amazing stuff in his stead. So, yeah, it's just a really sort of bright and shiny piece of audio adventure. I enjoyed it a lot, and I'd like to find out what these guys think. So, Lee, what's your opening feelings? What are your opening thoughts about this?
Well, this story is called Peace of Mind, written by James Goss. He's written many of the Big Finish stuff. Before we started doing this cast, I mentioned to Tim that I was getting the feeling when I was listening to this story, the vibe of the Unbound series, and that's what it felt like all the way listening through it. You thought, yeah, they've got another actor playing a doctor. He did well. Overacted, hammed it up, but that's John Barrowman, which proves when he plays Captain Jack, he can tone it down. Because if he's playing Captain Jack, he's toned down a bit. But when he was playing the Doctor, whoa. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And Colin Baker, brilliant as ever. Good the way they sort of clashed together, but by the end of it, they was all working together. As you say, it's a colourful piece of audio, very colourful piece of audio. I haven't listened to the other stories in the box set yet, but this is the story we're talking about. Yeah, you get the feeling that John Barrowman absolutely had fun doing this. It just came across that he was enjoying it so much. He was being a fanboy, eventually playing the Doctor. So, yeah, and so the supporting cast, brilliant as always. I mean, it was a smaller cast. There was maybe about, 3 more people in the audio, and all the rest
Correct.
of them. Yeah, story-wise, it's not a simple story, because you do at the beginning you think, all right, it's what did you call it? A graveyard world, cemetery world, and they're guarding the souls or whatever, but it doesn't turn out to be like that. So you've got to really listen to catch what is really happening in the story-wise. But if you click onto it straight away, you don't really get lost in that. So yeah, it's an enjoyable one. That's my say for now. I'll come back to favourite bits later and stuff like that.
Sure thing. And Tim, what did you think of this?
I thought it was good. I thought, as you may or may not know, I'm not a huge fan of John Barrowman. I think he's not the best actor, but on the other hand, he is an entertainer first. So, I mean, that's his raison d'etre. And I think that he did something really good here because he used an odd approach to playing the Doctor. He played a variation of all of them. So in a way, he's kind of imitating several of the actors who have played the part. That's the way I caught it. And he even admits in the extras that there's an energy to it that you have to adopt to play the Doctor. That's what he was trying to convey. So I have to give him props for actually being a good actor for once, because I've never thought he was that great. Maybe it's just the character of Jack Harkness I don't really care much for. But or you know what, I just think it's John Barrowman's personality. Whenever you see him in real life, he kind of grates on me. But having said that, he was very good in this because he was doing something different, and I think that I have to give him some credit because he actually did a good job being an actor for once. Like Lee said, he's over the top, he's chewing the scenery, but that's kind of what the Doctor has to do sometimes. Every actor that plays the Doctor does that occasionally, and that's just that goes with the personality of the Doctor, which is something he managed to pull off. Even though he's not like any particular one of them, he managed to get little bits of them. It's almost like a post-regeneration story where they kind of imitate the previous ones just to give you an idea that the Doctor's still in there somewhere when it's a new actor, you know what I mean? So I give him props for that. The story was okay. It wasn't the best thing I've ever heard, but it wasn't the worst either. The thing is, they wanted to have this cover. They wanted to, it's bait. It's to get you in to listen to this because it's what's going on here? You've got Captain Jack dressed up as the Sixth Doctor. What is that going to mean? And I think they might have missed a trick there because they could have made a more interesting story where, in fact, somehow or another, they did like a Freaky Friday and switched bodies or something. That would have been more interesting, I think. But they didn't go that route, and that's fine. I mean, what they did was cool. Colin Baker is wonderful. I mean, I think he's a great, but I do think that he was a bit wrong with his accent when he was trying to do. I guess you could say it's the Doctor messing up trying to do the accent of what he assumed Jack Harkness would sound like, but this is a common mistake British make when they try to do an American accent. You can see this on things like Crow or something all the time, is that they don't choose a particular American accent. They choose a generic one that sounds a little bit like, and in this case, he was trying to go with somebody Southern, I guess.
Yeah, he sounded a bit Texan.
Yeah, a bit, but you know what I mean? It was very over the top. Maybe that's the point. It was very over the top. So, I mean, maybe that's the point. But for a guy that the very first big finish Colin Baker did was a Bernie Summerfield, where he was playing a Russian. And I had no idea that was him until I saw the credits on the box. I didn't know who that guy was because he did such a great job playing a Russian accent. I mean, maybe it was Polish, I don't remember, but he did a very good job. I didn't even know that was Colin Baker. And here you go. He's doing this really bad Texas imitation, but that's fine. I mean, they're like Lee said, they're having a lot of fun making this probably, and it is just kind of Goss is a great writer, but it is kind of a throwaway episode. It's just the opportunity to get Harkness in with a Doctor, and why not 6? I mean, it's not one you would expect. Like they both say in the extras, it's a good opportunity to mix up the classic series with the new series and do something interesting with 2 of the characters. And it could have went bad, but instead it ended up being very entertaining for an hour.
Very much so. I enjoyed it a lot too. What's interesting is that where is it? Sophie Hopkins, who was in Class, she played April in Class, is in this too. So not only are new series, old series, reboots, and Unbound, it also touches on Class and Torchwood. It's got it all. It's trying for it all, and it tries, and it sort of hits it out of the park. I like.
They have to give the poor thing some work, don't they?
Yeah, she played. Yeah, it was. I guess she did a really, really good job at this. I don't really recommend Class strongly to anyone, but as Hyatt, she did really good. And the other actress, Hannah Archerton, played Callista, and that was really cool. And Callista really sort of threw me. And then there was the other part of Callista, or the other part of the story with Callista, which was great. And then there was Attila Akinki, who played Ata, and that was and what happened with her is really cool. And so let's move into favorite moments. I think the thing that happened with Ata was like really my favorite moment. Let's go to the first, and we'll just go around the circle that way.
Right. Well, you've got to realise this story is set before Jack meets Tennant's doctor. So he's expecting, when the TARDIS turns up, to be Eccleston's doctor. Because that was the last... Because the story was, the doctor had left him behind and all like that.
Yeah.
But I do like the banter between Colin and John Barrowman. He's brilliant, but I did have a query about this. The Doctor was sorting this adventure out before Jack turned up, but something happened to cause the Doctor to start a regeneration process, right?
Right? That's what I think.
Yes, but later on in the story, the Doctor's pretending to be Jack. So why didn't the people recognise him? If he was in this adventure already.
Did they actually see him?
It'd have been the sick Doctor just pretending to be Jack, but they'd have seen the face, surely. I was thinking, surely they've seen him, because...
Well, perhaps he was having a different adventure when this happened, and then he just bumps into Jack and suddenly they're on this adventure, or I can't remember. Was it different?
Or maybe he wore a mustache, something like that. Maybe
because the characters like Zora and all like that was saying about the Doctor, his back.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
And Zor, good name for a villain. And Jack was right.
Yep.
But yeah, for me, it's the way he portrays his version of the Doctor, and the way he keeps having a go at Colin's Doctor brilliantly. Where do you get these yellow striped trousers from?
Yeah. Zora was played by Prasanna Puanjara. So yeah.
But and as I say, it also as well. There's a bit where he mentions the Doctor's wife, River.
No.
And I'm thinking, hold on a minute. How has he met his wife?
Well, maybe he was using a vortex manipulator or something at some point.
I don't know, because River came along in the 10th Doctor's era. Not
right.
Maybe they're gonna put them together. River's been put together with everybody but Hartnell, Troughton, Pertwee, and
but the Doctor didn't say what wife.
Yeah.
Well, 60 met River Song too so far. So.
But he didn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't know that's his wife.
It's very complicated. This,
but I think Six is aware that Jack is from his future, so he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to know. That's why at the end he says, "You know what? I'm going to be having a
memory certainly, yeah,
and I'll try and delete whatever because I'm not supposed to know the future." And I thought that was kind of throwaway way to handle that situation, but they have to kind of. And I'm glad they're kind of laissez-faire about this, like whatever.
Yeah,
because they're tired of fanboys saying, "What about this then?" Like I got facts,
I'm thinking too much into it, being a fan sort of thing. I'm thinking, hold on a minute.
At the end of the day, it's about time travel, and time can be rewritten. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, this TV series has been rewritten over and over again.
Yeah.
But, I enjoyed it. As I say, Jack as the Doctor getting married to an android was quite out of the ordinary. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's but as I said before, it's not a classic, but it's not bad. So you'll possibly guess my score from that, but I'm not going to tell you yet.
Tim, what's your favorite moment?
It's kind of hard to pick a favorite moment. I just think I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to. Because going into it, as I said, I've never really cared much for Barrowman. And on the other hand, he impressed me that he can do good when he sets his mind to it. And I think for him it was a lot of fun because he got to play the Doctor, and he didn't just play one of them. He got to play it his way, which is, that's like Lee said, that's kind of the Unbound thing where they get in an actor and say, "Oh, would you do the Doctor?" And they, okay, we'll do it like this then, even though he's supposed to be a variation or side universe or whatever kind of thing. This is an opportunity to do that. Yeah, the continuity gets kind of crunchy if you think about it. Like, okay, how does this work? And but I don't think that's the point. As long as you're telling a good story. And again, I think the story was kind of sidelined by the fact that they're doing this. It's a big thing. Like, what would happen if Jack met 60? Blah blah blah. Just imagine the fun, and we'll put his coat on. Blah blah blah. So I mean, you know what I mean? That's the cover. When the cover came out, it just grabbed everybody's attention. Like, what the hell is that? You know. And so, sure enough, that's what they did. It's a good thing that the story is good. Like I said. So, yeah, they should do. Not all the time, but they should have more like that. Here's the thing with Jack's character. He's basically not time traveling for the most part. He's living through history. So we're always meeting him at different times. And usually he dies. Like he dies in this one, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So he's just one of those characters that basically is waiting for things to happen versus a traveler like the Doctor. All of this is because of what Rose did at the end of that first series. I mean, she gave him immortality inadvertently. She didn't mean to. And also, like Lee said, it's like, I mean, he could berate the Doctor for leaving him behind, but the truth is the Doctor was kind of busy. So I mean, it's not like he did it on purpose. And then he regenerated, so he had to go sleep it off in Rose's flat for a couple of days and have his own adventures at Christmas time. Remember all that? So it's like, I'm guessing Jack was the last thing on his mind at that point. So it's not like, it's like the Doctor said, he does this all the time, but he doesn't intentionally leave somebody behind unless they're a pain in the butt, like Chameleon or something. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can see your point about Chameleon, because I mean, here he is.
The Doctor killed him.
As Captain Jack, as the Doctor getting married to another android, you know, here we go. You know, I always thought that when the 12th Doctor says, you know, listen, I made myself an android boyfriend one time and stuff, and married him, I think, and I was just like, really? That's funny. Anyway,
oh, don't forget the first Doctor married an Aztec woman. So just
I know.
Coco with him.
Kamenka, do not forget Kamenka. It's true. Do not forget her. She was amazing. She gave him cocoa, and they got engaged. Right, babe? Anyway,
never drink cocoa.
Yeah, Chameleon. Alex is right. Chameleon said for the Doctor to kill him.
Yes.
So
The Doctor didn't have to murder him with the Master's incredible shrinking thing.
I know, it's true. The little thing that looks so phallic. Anyway, let's I enjoyed, let me just say that I enjoyed this. I listened to the last two on this box set, and it was really quite nice. The whole thing was good. Lots of different kinds of stories, and it never let down. So, you know, I was surprised. I hadn't listened to the Lives of Captain Jack since the first one came out. I guess that's something that I might try this now. But yeah, like the story, and it had its poignant moments, and it had its beautiful moments, and there was the thing with you know, him marrying, and then there was like the whole you know, him getting killed, and like, so there was a big piece of Jack reality and a big piece of 60 reality, all wrapped up in this story, which was fun. And you know, the Sixth Doctor trying to do an American accent was truly hilarious. Like, I didn't just crease up, I laughed out loud. It was like, really? Wow. Anyway, so is there anything else you guys want to mention about this particular story? No? Okay. So let's go into our final say and our scores. And so let's let's go to Lee, and you can give your final say and your score about the lives of Captain Jack. Peace of mind.
Final says, I know you're not calling for doing that so-called American accent, but I can knock a lot of Americans who try to do British accents.
Oh,
They're far worse. Keanu Reeves.
no, okay. Yours truly as well. Sometimes mine is just, so bad. But
going back to the audio. Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not up there. So I'm going to give it a 7.5 from me.
Cool. And Texas, what would you give it?
Well, I'd say it's kind of since it's kind of a gimmicky throwaway though. It's not a bad one though. It's like a I'd say it was an entertaining way to pass an hour. So I'd give it an 8.5. I think they did a good job. And again, I said I was pretty impressed with Barrowman, which I'm not usually. So I thought I got to give it an extra point for that. So
Yeah, all right. And I guess I will agree with Texas, Tim, and give it an 8.5 too. Also, and in addition to him as well. So we haven't decided what we're going to do next, but when we find out, we'll tell you. It'll be in our Facebook group. It'll show up on social media. You can rest assured that we will share with you what's up, because we like to have you involved. We like to have you listening to these and watching these videos on YouTube, and participating with us in our social media. And do tune in later this weekend, or as the podcast rolls. We're going to be doing Doctor Who movie and also a little bit of Night Court, which is fun, from the 70s, 80s, or I think. Anyway, just a cool old little American situation comedy based in a courtroom. Anyway, that's all for us for right now. Like, share, subscribe, and share widely. Okay. And enjoy the rest of our podcast, please. And thank you. Bye-bye.